Welcome to the Journey Podcast. I'm your host, Josh Valentine, and on this show, we showcase some of the most inspiring stories on the planet. And today, I have the honor and privilege of bringing to you guys one of my really good friends, Jesse Lima, who's not only one of the top SMP artists in the world, he actually certifies a lot of people in this industry. He's one of the pioneers in this space. He's the founder of this amazing business, 6EMP, and I'm really excited because we're going to talk entrepreneurship. We're going to talk family and just overall his incredible journey to success. So without further ado, Jesse, what's going on, brother? Glad to have you on the show.
Hey, listen, I appreciate you having me on the show, man. And it really means a lot to be able to share with you guys my story.
Yeah, no, it's crazy because we literally just met at my creators conference and we had Trey working the production. We had a bunch of phenomenal people, as you saw, people from all walks of life who are involved in so many different things. And I'm so happy that we got to connect because I got to learn a little bit about your story. And after hearing your journey, I was just like, man, I got to get this guy on the show. So happy to have you here, brother.
No, appreciate it.
Man, I know we can start in so many directions, but I really want to, not only for the audience, but also for myself, because I've got to hear a lot of your backstory, but I don't really know like early Jesse, young Jesse. And give us a little bit about your childhood. Like, I know you were living in Miami at one point. Were you like born there or?
No, so I was born in California.
Oh, wow.
Los Angeles, California, raised in Miami in Homestead.
Nice. Trey's from Cali. Yeah.
Okay,
what part of Cali were you born in?
I was born in Gardena.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was raised in Miami, man. Look, my parents, you seen the movie Scarface, right? Remember in the beginning where you got the boat that comes in where all the Cubans come in? That's in 1980, the Mariel.
Yep.
So my parents came in there on that boat.
Wow.
So my brother was about 9 years old when they came. I wasn't born yet. So they came straight to Miami and then they left to California and then I was born out there.
Crazy.
And then they ended up going back to Miami. So that's how I was raised in Miami.
Wow. Why did they go to Cali?
Just looking for opportunity, right?
Crazy.
Just somewhere different. They never really told me why they went over there, but yeah, just somewhere different.
Nice. So out of curiosity, like when you were raised, did you grow up with privilege? Did you grow up in a rich family? What did your parents do?
Nah, we were poor, man. My dad was a truck driver, but he was also a barber on the weekends. And then my mom was a hairstylist too. She was a hairstylist and a barber. But she never my mom was really into church. My mom's Jehovah's Witness. My father's from the streets.
Wow.
Right. So it was a crazy household. A lot of different things to deal with, but we were poor. I'm a Section 8 baby. So I was raised in Section 8. My mom never wanted to move forward just for the fear of like losing that security of having something coming in if my dad couldn't provide.
Yeah.
So I grew up in an apartment complex, man, my whole life.
Nice. Interesting because you mentioned your parents even being in barbering, and do you feel like that's part of the reason why you even embarked on this journey in the first place?
Man, listen, my mom was a barber, my father, my uncle, and my grandfather. They were all barbers.
Yeah.
I always said that I would never cut hair.
Yeah.
I hated the idea of it. When my dad's friends would be like, yo, Jesse, Manolito, you gonna start cutting hair too? I'm like, hell no. I wanted to be an architect and I wanted to be, or a baseball player. That was my goal. I've always been an artist, like always, anything in drawing. So that's what I want to do. But the reason I hated the barber industry, man, they didn't have no time for me, right? They were always busy. My dad was driving trucks, and then on the weekend, he was cutting hair, and then my mom was cutting hair all week, doing hair all week. So when I played baseballs and sports and stuff like that, they'd just drop me off and go to work. So everything I ever did was like that. So I just seen that it was like a slave work, and they really weren't making money off of it.
Yeah.
So I was just like, what's the point of doing this, I didn't see the benefit in it. But, what got me into cutting hair, though, was... when I was 11 years old, I almost lost both my parents. 2 separate car accidents.
Wow.
Right. My dad first, he was he used to drive the semi trucks. Some people cut him off. Instead of him just running through them and killing them, he cut the wheel and his rig flipped. Right. So he was in ICU in Fort Lauderdale.
Wow.
Right. Broken ribs, whole one side. He was unconscious for 21 days.
Wow. So
every day my mom and I were going back and forth to the hospital. The one day that I didn't go with her, my brother took me to Disney World. My brother's 11 years older than me. And so he took me to Disney World just to kind of get away for the day. On the way back home, where it was nighttime, we see like these cars that had crashed and they were like in the ditch. We're like, yo, that's a crazy accident. We get to my apartment, my mom's not there. So we're like, oh, maybe she stayed at the hospital with my dad. Right? couple hours later, we get a phone call from Jackson Memorial Hospital in Miami. Like, can we speak to Jose or Wilbert? That's my dad and my brother. I was like, well, they're not here. This is Jesse. And they're like, well, we have your mother. We have Mercedes Lima here in the hospital. She was in a bad car accident. So that was her car accident that we passed and we seen.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was 11 years old. I knew how to drive already. I got in my dad's car and I drove to the hospital.
At 11?
At 11. I called my brother. Hey, mom's in the hospital, bro. That accident was hers. So I got in the car and I started driving.
Wow.
Yeah, I learned how to drive on the semi-trucks with my dad.
Wow.
So I'm driving to the hospital. We get to the hospital and, now I got my mom in one hospital about to die. Her blood count levels were super low. So
They were both in the hospital at the same time?
2 separate hospitals.
Wow.
Yeah. Her blood count levels were super low, needed transfusion, but she's Jehovah's Witness. They don't get transfusions. So there was like a whole bunch of back and forth. And there's other medicines that they could provide that make your body produce more blood. The hospitals just go straight to blood transfusion because it's basically free. It's cheaper for them. So she came out of that. Long story short, my father, the week after my mom got in the hospital, he came back, like out of his being unconscious. And within that week, he made himself seem good enough to get out of the hospital because we told him that she fell and broke her leg and she couldn't come see him. So he knew something was wrong. So he ended up getting out of the hospital. We had to tell him the truth. So now she's over here in the hospital. They had to amputate one of her legs. Like, there's a whole thing. So she couldn't do hair no more. Wow. She was in a rehab for about 3 years. I had to take care of my dad.
That's crazy, man.
In the meantime of that, I had to take care of my dad. I had to bathe my dad, wipe his ass. Like, I had to do everything in the house. Cook, clean, pay the bills with the money that my dad had left over. Like, I had to do everything at a young age. So I grew up at that moment. Like, I wasn't a kid anymore at 11 years old. So if we move on, like 3 years later, but when I was 14, my dad's little bit of funds, that shit was running out. He did do a lawsuit. He got a little bit of money from it, but that's from the streets, man. Like, he blew through that money. We traveled. We went to Cuba. He bought whatever I wanted. He would buy me. Like we just burn a hole through that. So I had to figure out a way to make money. So I was looking for a job so that I could provide too, because he still couldn't work because of the injuries from his accident and my mom still being in the rehab. So I had started working at Winn-Dixie, but at the same time, when I used to give my dad his certain medication I used to give him, he used to flip out and spaz out. Right? It was Tylenol 4 with codeine in it. And that would just make him rage. So I'd give him the medicine and I would leave. So one of my closest friend, Gus, he lived on the 3rd floor. He used to cut everybody up, all the younger people. So I used to go up there and I used to just hang out with him. I used to be part of a breakdancing crew. Yeah. So he'd be cutting us all up and I used to just hang out and just watch him. And I seen him one day grab the edgers, like a pencil, and do like two little lines on somebody's head. I was like, hold up. I could probably draw on somebody's head. So I convinced one of my friends to let me do a design on his head. So I grabbed, remember Cisco, Drew Hill? Yep. Remember the logo, that dragon?
Yeah.
I cut his hair down to a number 1, grabbed a blue Bic pen, and I drew the dragon on his head, and then I cut it out.
No way.
And then I did like a little fade on the side, because watching him cut, I kind of figured out how to do a fade. It's, bigger guard to the smaller guard. Yeah. So I blended it on the sides, did the dragon all over the side, brought the tail into the guy's beard. It was crazy. And that was my first time ever touching clippers or doing anything. Really? So I fell in love with it, bro. Like, I realized there's art in cutting hair.
That's crazy. Yeah. You got the gift, brother, because I struggled. Those early years in barbering, I don't know. It was just, especially with the fades, just getting the habit of the fades. So I can tell you're really good at just visualizing. Like, you're a very visual learner.
I could see something and replicate it 100%. Like, every fade I did was a fade. It was probably really high, right? But that was a Miami thing. In Miami, we rocked the high fade anyway. Yep. But yeah, so it was really high ball fades, but it was always a fade. Like, I never left the line. It was just, to me, it's common sense. Right? If at this length, if I ran the 2 on top, in between the 2 and the 0, there's like the 1, the half, like all the little guards. So I just kept on going from the bigger guard to the smaller guard, bigger guard to the smaller guard, bigger guard to the smaller, until that little shadow was completely gone, knowing what a fade should look like, right?
For sure.
It's art at the end of the day.
And back in those days, we didn't really have YouTube.
There was no YouTube at all. So I'm talking about 98.
Oh yeah. I started barbering, so a lot of my audience doesn't even know that I used to be a barber back in the day. That's how I put myself through college, just cutting hair in my dorm room. But I also worked at 2 different shops. The very first shop that I went to, that I was telling you, in the Bronx, I actually lied to them and said that I was working at a barbershop in Brooklyn, and I kind of got thrown into this barbershop. But this was like one of the best barbershops in all of like New York.
Yeah.
And they ended up letting me go, believe it or not, because I was just jacking up so many haircuts. But I learned a lot just going there and just playing with the clippers and just, you know, trying different haircuts. But I remember being stressed out because I would mess up haircuts, or I'd be in the chair for 3 hours giving 5 different haircuts the same
on the same person. Yeah.
But man, that's amazing, brother. That's really amazing. So how old were you when you actually started to treat this like a business and started bringing in income for yourself?
Right from the rip, bro. 14 years old.
14 years old.
So, like I said, I was part of a breakdancing crew. There was 26 of us in the crew.
Got it.
So the moment I started doing it, I did that design. Then right after that, one of our other friends I was watching, I was like, yo, let me give you a fade. I did a 2-on-top skin fade on him. And it came out right.
Yeah.
Showed it to Gus. Gus was blown away. Like, he was like, so he started giving me little pointers.
Yeah.
So now I had a barber chair downstairs. So he just started coming downstairs with his chair, and we were cutting hair in my kitchen.
Yeah.
Not the kitchen, but the dining room area. We were both cutting hair there. So we turned it into a barbershop. So within a month, right, I learned how to do a lot of different haircuts because all 26 of my crew, they all trusted me.
Great experience, yeah.
They all let me cut them up. So by the time I was done with the 26th one, it was the following week already.
Wow.
So I was just constantly cutting hair every single day.
So you had your clientele right from the
Within
beginning.
a month, I was charging $3 a haircut.
Nice.
Then within...
I started out at five. Yeah.
After a month, I went to 5.
Yeah.
And I stayed at 5, bro. I was making $900 a week on $5 haircuts.
Wow.
Right, as a kid. I went into working at a barbershop at 16 years old, and I was recruited.
Yeah.
In Miami, bro, we get away with all kind of things, right?
Yep.
The license thing, they didn't care about it. So, yeah, there was a barbershop in the area. It was like one of the main barbershop shop called Headhunters, and the owner was recruiting. He was trying to get me in there, and I ended up finally, I was like, fuck it. Let me go ahead and go work over there. And I went, man, in my first week, I made $1,200.
Crazy.
At $10 haircuts, right? And I already had a clientele, so I established myself there at 16 years old. So I was doing this during high school. So I used to cut all my teachers, the principal's kids, all the security guards. I was the man in high school.
Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah. So you're probably making more than everybody in high school.
Oh, like, bro, I was arrogant. Yeah. I was arrogant. The teacher couldn't tell me now, like, how much you make? 40,000? I'll pull out a knot. I make over $100,000. I'm 16, crazy,
right? Like,
I used to throw that in their face all the time. I was wild. And I don't sell drugs.
Yeah. No, I love it. Yeah. So I'm curious. So you mentioned your mom was Jehovah's Witness. Now, were you knocking on doors? I'm curious about that because I know your hustle.
Yeah.
And I know you have no issue with approaching people, and if you've got to get scrappy with it, we spoke about guerrilla marketing earlier. If you really have to hit the streets and introduce yourself, you don't have a problem with that. Would you say that any of that came from the Jehovah's Witness, or like was that just something in you?
The Jehovah's Witness thing, nothing against the religion, right? They're just Christians. They're just by the book.
Yeah.
But that whole thing made me very insecure. Honestly, because going door knocking, and people make fun of Jehovah's Witnesses all the time.
Oh, yeah.
They're the butt of every joke, right? In movies and everything.
Of course.
So sometimes we go door knocking, and it's one of my friends' house. So now I'm like, damn. So now I'm scared. And then there was even times, man, like one of the things, again, nothing to knock them and none of that stuff, but they're so strict that there was times where I'd have to tell my friends that I couldn't be friends with them because they're not Jehovah's Witnesses.
Oh, wow.
So that would, as a kid, that was like little trauma stuff that kind of made me kind of shy.
Yeah.
But it also made me rebellious because it was like, man, bump that. Because I grew up with that saying, tell me who your friends are and I'll tell you who you are.
Of course.
So I was on a mission to prove that wrong. And I did. Yeah. Right. So I hung out with all the wrong people. I hung out with the drug dealers. I hung out with the people that were stealing. I hung out with all the people that were doing all the gangs. There was a whole bunch of gangs at that time in Miami. I was never a part of a gang, but I was cool with all the gangs. And I was the barber, bro, so they loved me. Yeah. But I was always a leader though. Like I never fell into doing any of the things. So like if there was ever anything going down with one of these crews or any of that stuff, they would be like, yo, Jess,
of course,
I need you to stay out of here.
Yep.
We're about to do something. You know what I'm saying? Because they respected me because I've always been a boss. I've always been a leader. Yeah. So my leadership came from that though, from proving my mom wrong, that I would hang out with the wrong people and never do what they do. Yeah. But I love my freedom. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I definitely didn't have the balls to do any of that stuff anyways.
Yeah, for sure.
But definitely got shot at, being at the wrong place at the wrong time, running through cornfields and stuff just because I'm with the wrong people. Things like that. So yeah, being Jehovah's Witness, that created insecurity. what built some of my confidence was breakdancing. Because, you know, we're doing things with dancing in front of people. We got a big old crew and we might do something and bust your ass. So in breakdancing, you learn how to bust your ass. So when you fall a wrong way, you got to tuck some way to kind of make it look like it was on purpose, intentional. So I lost a little bit of my fear with that. But now with speaking to people, I was always kind of quiet and kind of shy with that. I was taught to speak when spoken to. Right. What made me lose that fear, you know, I graduated high school. Right out, like straight from graduating high school, I opened up my first barbershop. So I had my barbershop for about 2 years in Miami before I moved up. It
was your own barbershop. How old were you?
I was 19 turning 20. Yeah, I was a super senior.
Yeah.
Right. So I taught 6 of my friends how to cut hair the year prior to graduating to open up the shop. It was already in the works. So I taught them how to cut so they could start building clientele. We all grew up in the apartment complex. So now we all have a clientele. I graduate. I think it was like May or June, whatever it was back then. And then September that same year, my shop opened up. So it was already done. I got, you know, a good friend of mine that was already licensed. I used his license to get the occupational to be able to open. So none of us had a license.
Crazy.
But I used to cut the person that sends out the inspector. That was my client.
Yeah.
So no questions asked, no nothing. Shop's still there till today.
Really?
They've all gotten licensed now because things change. But yeah, so man, we got away with it. But moving to Tampa, I went from being the guy, right? Because even though I'm cutting all these people and I'm talking with all these people, I was very comfortable talking to people in my chair. Outside of the shop, I was still kind of, you know, introvert.
Of course, yeah.
So moving to Tampa, I came up here and I go from owning the shop, being the guy, making, you know, $1,500 a week on a regular, not having to think about making money, to now coming up here and not having a clientele. Started from scratch all over again, not knowing anybody at all. I didn't have my license yet, right? I was going to school right before moving up here, just for the simple fact that I knew this was suburb up here, it may be different up here. So 3 months before coming up here, well, no, sorry. I moved up here and I still had 3 more months to finish to get my license. So I tried working in the barbershop out here. The same week I started working in the shop, inspector came and hit me with a fine.
Oh, wow. So
I was doing house calls. I was cutting people up in you know, in their houses and different businesses. I went to every single business in the Brandon area, up and down Highway 60, every single plaza, every single business, every small business. I stepped foot in there with a portfolio. I still have the portfolio. I'll show you later. But I walk in with my portfolio, introduce myself. I had also a business that we did that was to do business cards and flyers and stuff like that. So I promote both, that I can make you business cards, flyers, portfolios. And the other side of my business card was the cutting hair. So, you know, I'd show them my portfolio. They'd be like, shoot, cut me up right now. So I built my clientele like that here in the streets. Yeah. But every Friday I would drive back down to Miami and cut all my people up Saturday and Sunday, drive back up here so that Monday through Thursday, I'm hitting the streets. As a matter of fact, remember the Franchise Boys? Yep. So there was one time that I just got to my mom's house down in Miami and I got a call from the radio station from you know, Orlando, the Free Show. They called me up. They're like, hey, we got the Franchise Boys here. They need a haircut. I think it was like one of the award shows that they had to go to. So I was like, cool, I'll be there in 4 hours. I drove back up from Miami, cut them up, and drove back down to Miami to cut up my clients. Crazy. So I did that for about 6 months up until I got my license. And then I started working in a barbershop here. But by the time I started working in the shop, I already had a clientele. I see. I was ready to go. Yeah. So having to be in that position to where it's like, I don't know nobody. I got to make money again. I don't feel like a man because I'm not making money. Like all of those little things was like, all right, you just got to talk. For sure. You got to put yourself out there. So even at the gas station, I'll click, walk up to you with my portfolio, put that right in your hands so that I didn't give you a chance to be like, nah, I'll put that right on your chest with the haircut that you have on the picture right there. So you'd be like, oh, shit. I love it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I love it. I respect it too because you also have a family. And I want to kind of talk a little bit about that. And my question, though, is why leave Miami? Why not just stay there? You had established business there. There are suburbs in Miami as well. It's not Tampa, but you if you really wanted to get a suburban feel, there's outskirts that you could have went to. But what was the big underlying reason for even settling out here? The main thing, my wife wanted to leave Miami. She was done with Miami. She hated it. Yeah. I built my name strong. So no matter where in Miami you went to, you knew who I was.
Yeah.
So anywhere she went to, ain't you Jesse's wife?
Yeah.
Right? Which that's not a problem. But everybody knew me. So it was just a thing. But besides that, she was tired of it. She couldn't find a good job. She was, out of school. She was in college. She couldn't really find a good job. We used to come to Tampa all the time because my sister-in-law lived here. Her husband's in the military. So literally, bro, we come up here at least once a month, every other month. We were back and forth. Real estate was crazy expensive in Miami. This was in 2005, so this is when things were starting to boom.
Yeah.
So I was trying to buy a house down there, but it was too much.
I see.
So we came up, we're coming up here. We seen that the market was super cheap here. So we ended up finding 5 acres, right, which me and my father-in-law bought. Split it in half, so I had 2.5 acres. He had 2.5 acres. I built a 3,500 square foot house for under 200,000.
It's amazing.
So it was like under 300 grand. I had 2.5 acres.
Yeah,
about 3,000 square foot house, right, for under $300,000. And then the house was valued when it was done over 600.
Yeah.
So it was just going to be a flip.
For sure.
Right. So it was more of the investing. Right.
Got it.
And then I was looking around while we were coming up here. I'm paying attention. I'm like, yo, the barber game needs me up here.
Yeah.
Haircuts weren't what they are today. There was no good barbers out here at all. So I was like, I'm gonna come out here and just take over. So I'm going checking out all these barbershops and stuff. And I'm like, they need me.
Yeah.
So it was just a mixture of all of that stuff.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. Yeah. Now, when did you start your family? Did you get married pretty young? I know you and your wife have been together for over 20 years.
Yeah, we've been together since high school.
Yeah.
I was 16 and she was 15. 14. She was 14. I was 16. My son was born when I was 20 years old. So I opened up my shop and my son was born. Yeah, I needed it. I needed to slow down. So it was definitely intentional. It wasn't no mistake. I got 3 sons and all 3 of them were on purpose.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially with him. With him, it was a conversation we had. We're like, yo, we needed it.
Yeah.
She wanted to go to college. Her dad wouldn't sign off to independent, make her an adult. So the counselor told her, well, if you had a kid, you'd be considered an adult. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we use our resources.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what would you say out of 20 plus years of marriage and you had your children and everything like that, what would you say has been the hardest part for just even raising a family? I know I was looking at a study recently and they were mentioning how there's less and less people starting families in this generation. It's just, it's most people in this generation are not willing to, there's a saying like, marriage isn't dead. It's just the people who are willing to fight for a marriage is dead. It's like that's what's dead. It's not the idea of marriage. It's just it's work, and a lot of the younger generation don't want to put in that work or just even struggle with being able to pay for a family, right? A lot of people, I think, have fear around being able to even take care of a family in this generation. But I'm curious for you over the last quarter century, being with your wife and going through family, being a father, a husband, and all this stuff, and juggling business. I know it's not easy.
Yeah.
What would you say has been some of the biggest challenges, and how did you overcome them?
So for me, I'll tell you this. The relationship at home with my mom and my dad wasn't great.
Yeah.
So me seeing the craziness that used to go down, I wanted a family. And I wanted a family young. I didn't want to be an old dad. My dad didn't have time for me, all of that stuff, right? Yeah. So I wanted that. So having a family, I was with it. I was making money already. Like I was established. I was good. Like I was a grown ass man at 16 years old because of the stuff with my parents, right? So I didn't struggle in that part. I think the hardest part was maybe just, maybe being present, right? Because of the whole having to grind thing. But at the same time, like I kind of cheated, man. My mother-in-law's lived with us forever. The moment when we had our son, I moved into their house, from my in-laws' house. We had a room there. After like 3 months, I was able to get an apartment for us, and I got a nice 3-bedroom apartment. So there was an extra bedroom. My mother-in-law was like, you know what? She didn't have the greatest relationship neither, so she took advantage. She was like, yo, I'm out too. Divorced my father-in-law, and she came and lived with us. So I definitely had her support and her help the whole time.
It helps.
Man, because I was working full-time. I had the barbershop. My wife was in school and working 2 jobs.
Wow.
So my mother-in-law definitely helped out big time with that. I mean, when she couldn't, I'd have my son with me in the little swing thing at the barbershop right there next to me. I'm cutting hair and he's right here with me. I'm cutting hair, carrying him. It is what it is. So it really wasn't hard. Like I don't think we went through anything hard.
Yeah.
at first. Struggles, really, what it is we were kids, right?
Oh, yeah.
But we've always looked at things as partnerships, right? And even like in high school, like I didn't care to graduate.
Yeah.
She made me graduate, right? She used to do my homework for me. She's like, I ain't gonna be with no dummy. She seen like the ambition, the drive.
Yeah,
like I wasn't a dummy. So she's like, nah, you gonna graduate, because I didn't care to graduate, but my brother dropped out. So she showed me that I could have fun and still do what I had to do and get good grades. So my mom ain't see a report card from middle school all the way to 11th grade.
Yeah.
Because they were always bad. So she showed me that I could do both. And so it's just been that partnership, you know what I'm saying? That friendship that kept us together. But still, we were still young. We were just doing things on the fly. Nobody taught us anything. There is no instruction manual to relationship or to parenting or anything like that. So, I mean, we've always had good heads on our shoulders, bro.
Yeah,
like
that's really
a lot
good.
of common sense. So, man, I really can't. The hardest thing, I guess, is as you start to grow, you start to spend more, you start to want more. I want to provide my family with more. So then I start grinding even harder. It got to the point where my family would come and see me at the barbershop.
Yeah.
She'd come and bring me food. She'd even feed me while I'm cutting hair sometimes, because I'd be in there till like 12 o'clock at night, 1 in the morning. So really, just trying to be present and not always be on that grind.
Absolutely.
Especially once I've been a grinder my whole life, so you kind of get addicted to it.
Hustleaholic. Yeah.
Bro, hustleaholic for real.
Yeah.
And then even after when we don't need to anymore, it's just kind of like instilled in you. So
yeah, no, very true. And it makes sense because your dad was also always...
My dad was a hustler, bro,
Yeah, so it definitely it's funny, they say the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, and there's a lot of truth to that.
Yeah.
And if there's any piece of advice that you would give to these young brothers who are just starting out and they want to, let's say, possibly start a family, maybe they're a little bit nervous about starting a family, well, what advice would you give just with marriage as well as just parenting?
I think the problem with the youth right now is that people are very selfish right now. Right? Like the whole culture of working together and being about each other, or being able to lead or take a lead or fall back from the lead, like all of that stuff is kind of gone. So that's the difference with the old school and the new school.
It's true.
Right? So it's really understanding that once you're in a relationship, it's not about you anymore.
Yeah.
You got to be able to fall back and let somebody else take the lead. You got to be able to put away the stuff that you want and be able to say, sacrifice what you want for somebody else. And in communication, like people are just so like caught up in their ways that there's no more communication. We just gotta just do what we want, however we want, and so entitled to things, right?
For sure.
So yeah, I guess if you want to have a family, you want to have a real relationship, it's all about, communication and being able to put aside your wants for their needs.
I agree 100%. Now, it's funny because we were touring your business, and as we're touring, I saw a gentleman in one of the pictures that kind of looked like you, and I didn't want to make any assumptions. I remember you telling me a story how you went on a health journey, and the brother kind of looked like you, but it didn't look like you. But I had to make sure because it was like a Hall of Fame wall that you have with all of your students, your past students with SMP, and you were like twice as big,
man. Yeah.
And you mentioned to me that you were almost 300 pounds.
I was 300 pounds on the dot.
100 pounds. And it's crazy, and Trey could attest to this. We just did an episode where a guy, Fab the Vegan, 155 pounds, I met him on TV, and he mentioned he's like, now he's half the man, right? Because he was 300 pounds as well. Yeah. And he had that same issue where he was a hustleaholic and just always just eating whatever was there. Yeah. How in the hell did you get to 300 pounds? And you're not like a 6-footer, you know what I'm saying?
5'7".
Yeah. We're about the same height. And how did you get that big?
Man, so I used to break dance, right? So and I wanted to be a bodybuilder when I was young, so I used to work out like crazy. But once that real life kicked in, I opened up my barbershop. There was no more time to work out. There was no more time for myself on that. I wasn't making time for eating, so I cut hair all day. I've always been the busiest barber in the shop. I've always been the first one there and the last one out. Before we even open hours to way after closing, right? So if I had a gap, run to McDonald's. Wendy's, bro, she used to hit on me all the time. I passed by, she'd be like, Jesse, come here. So I used to, I was eating the wrong stuff. And it's not that I was eating a lot. It's that I'd starve myself all day and then I'd eat the wrong stuff. Or I'd get home and just smash whatever the food was. And so I was just being very, very unhealthy. And when you're cutting hair, you're not using muscles. Like you're just rocking back and forth. You're not even pumping your calves. So there's no blood circulating in your legs the right way. Things like that. Not drinking water, drinking a lot of soda. So it was just like little by little, it crept up. And from one day to another, it was like 250 pounds. I remember my boys would be like, yo, Jay, you getting kind of, what you talking about, boss? I still got it, though. I still got it. But yeah, I was getting big. But stress, especially coming up here, I was working. Nothing else mattered. In 2009, I was probably about like 220, 230 around that time. But I started doing the hair show thing. I started traveling like crazy with these shows. I met a gentleman named Curtis Smith, which is one of the biggest celebrity barbers out there. Usher, Ron Isley, pretty much everybody out there. You know what I'm saying? He was the main guy, and he was the guy that I wanted to learn from. I wanted to be a celebrity barber on that. So I went to my first hair show and I ran into him, met him, and I bring that up just because when we linked up, man, I started traveling like crazy. Every single month we were in a different city, different place. So a lot of that travel stuff, like I'd be here for 3 weeks, cutting, preparing for that week that I'm gonna be gone while we're traveling, and then get back to grinding again because I missed a week of work. And a lot of times I wasn't getting paid for the travel. It was just put my name out there, help him push his brand. Like, I believed in him so much that I was sacrificing my time and all that stuff to help him grow his. And in return, he created a platform that built a name for me to lead me to where I'm at today. So a lot of that, I just never had time to really take care of myself. And again, bro, from one day I just realized I was like, 300 pounds. Wow. Yeah. I made a transformation because I got to a point 5 years ago, and this was during COVID, where I literally have everything, man. I have my barbershop, 14 barbers, super successful. Like, everybody in there is great. I got my S&P office. I'm booming. I got a 4,500 square foot house, a new house. I got the swimming pool. I got the 2 dogs. I got the 3 kids. I always wanted 3 kids. It didn't matter if it was boys or girls, but I wanted 3 kids. I got the wife. I got the dope ass BMW. I literally have everything, dream. Bro. Everything. Yeah. People know who I am. Like, that was one of my biggest things. I want people to know who I am and what I could provide the world. So I literally felt like I had everything, but I was still miserable. And I was very insecure about the way I look. You just wouldn't know. Because I'll still get on the stage and just do what I got to do, even though in my head I'm hating the way I look. I'm hating the way I'm feeling. But I couldn't let that stop me from pushing the brand to build my name. Of course. So I remember watching footage of when we was on the stage doing our thing. I'd be like, bro, you let me wear that? Got some tight jeans on with a baggy shirt. I'm like, bro, I look like a blow pop up there, bro. Like, why the hell would you let me wear that? Like, dude, what the hell? Like, don't nobody care. Like, look what you were doing. Look what you were saying. Like, and that's all that mattered. But to me, oh man, going shopping, bro, I was always depressed. We were going out, man, it was the struggle was real, bro. The insecurities, the breakdowns at home. My wife was the only one that seen that side of me. You know what I'm saying? So I was on that whole yo-yo, man, because I'll take the journey, start eating right, working. I always worked out, but eating right, I'll drop 50, 60 pounds, but then I'll gain shit right back within a month, right? Because the reality is you got to sustain that weight loss for 2 to 3 years before your body adapts to that lifestyle, so your stomach can shrink, right? So a buddy of mine was like, Jess, you should get a gastric bypass. He's like, you're going to make your stomach smaller. You're going to force yourself to eat less. You're going to drop crazy weight. You only need to lose about 100 pounds. It's not like you're like, these people that you lose 200-300 pounds. So just do the bypass. And I was back and forth for probably 2 years, 2-3 years with that idea. And my thing was, I'm such a success addict, right? Like, everything I do and I touch, I kill. I come up with an idea and I execute. But losing weight was the only thing that I always failed at. Right? That was your dragon. Yeah, you had to slay that dragon. I had to slay that dragon, man. So I definitely I didn't feel like a man deciding to get the surgery done. But, he told me that makes sense. And literally, I spoke to him. I think the next day I seen another close friend of mine. And I was looking at him like, my boy been losing weight. So I reached out to him like, hey, bro, congratulations. You look like you want it. He's like, yo, Jess, I got to tell you something. I had gastric bypass done. You got to get it, bro. This thing is a serious boom. I was like, damn, it's like those two right there told me how like, all right,
that was confirmation.
Yeah, I was like, let's do it. Let's do it. So in 2020, August 2020, I had gastric bypass done. So I dropped about 80 pounds. But the thing with me, like a lot of people don't even believe that I had it done because I still look fit.
Yep.
Like I don't look like some people that lose all this crazy weight and they're all like, you know,
frail.
Yeah, I was afraid of like the loose skin and just looking very frail and sucked dry. So I was definitely heavy on my protein, you know, making sure I was working out, things like that, so that I would still look fit during the whole process, man. And yeah, it's been a game changer. It's
good,
definitely,
man.
it was kind of like that icing on the cake, man. It was that cherry. It was like finally, boom, I'm here where I want to be.
For sure.
Now it's taking me even further because now that little weight that I have of that I had insecurity that really didn't bother me, it did, because now I'm extra loose on the camera. Like I can just sit here and speak. I can get on the stage and really rock the stage now.
I love it. Yeah. That confidence plays a big factor, man. And one thing I love, you and I have spoken a lot about just SMP and the artistry of it, but also the bigger meaning behind it. And I'm glad that you touched on confidence in general. And I appreciate you keeping it real, because a lot of brothers probably, oh yeah, I worked out and I was just going hard, burning all. I love the fact that, yeah, you worked out. You also have got the sweat equity in, but you're very transparent with your journey, and this helped give you that boost that you needed.
I have clients that I've done SMP on that have gotten, they got SMP. Now they feel like they look good. And then now they're overweight. So now they listen to me and went and got gastric bypass done, and now they're going through that journey too. So I don't care to put myself out there, right? To make sure that I can help somebody. Like my purpose in life and just living here, why I'm on this earth, is to help you. That's the reason I'm here. You know what I'm saying? So I don't care. Like one of the last things that I did that was a big insecurity of mine was showing my before shirtless and my after shirtless, because I'm still not where I want to be at. But it was such a big insecurity that I was like, you know what? Let me just throw it out there. It is what it is. Right? Let me just kill that last little bit. And I threw it out there, man. Everybody loved it, man. And just the other day, I gotta show you this, man. I had a guy reach out to me. He was like, yo, Jess, there's 3 people on Instagram that have inspired me. And I wanted to reach out to you first. Right? Because with my weight loss, it's you. He sends me his before and afters. He was a big dude, and now he's shredded. He looks good. He's been following me for the past 4 years. So it's just random. I don't know who this person is. We've never spoke before. You know what I'm saying? So he just reached out to me and just told me this, and you know, like that's why I put it out there. That's the reason I showed that, you know.
That's amazing.
And then putting myself out there shirtless and looking all crazy like that, that was just that little extra, like, you know what? Now I don't care. I take my shirt off. So what? I got a little bit of loose skin. So what? The abs are coming in though.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So show that process, show people that I have what it takes to be disciplined. And then at the same time, you're thinking about getting SMP done, you know you could trust me, because if I'm dedicated for myself, how dedicated you think I'm gonna be for you?
That's right. That's
right.
right.
So it helps sell the brand, because the 6E brand is a lifestyle thing. It's about what we do.
Of course,
of course. Confidence, make people feel good and look good.
And I think when you're just keeping it real, a lot of people can relate to that. If you seem too perfect, too polished, you and I spoke about that as well. Like even when you're communicating, you're not looking to sound like a salesperson. You just want to sound like a regular person, and people relate to that. So that's amazing. Now, I know a lot of our audience, many of them have no idea what SMP is, and give them a little bit about what it actually is in the first place, because some of them are like, okay, I'm hearing about this, or maybe they've seen some stuff on Instagram or heard about some people getting it, and I'm sure a percentage of our audience who's watching probably can use some SMP. So if this will be a shameless plug, really great opportunity to just kind of share a little bit about SMP as an art form, SMP, what it actually is, and who you would recommend it for.
So SMP, it stands for scalp micropigmentation. So it's a cosmetic tattoo where I'm tattooing tiny little dots all over the scalp that replicate hair follicles. So for anybody that's losing hair, whether they're completely bald, whether they're thinning, dealing with alopecia spots, they have scars from like accidents or even from hair transplants, even people with hair transplants that don't have the full density that they want, I tattoo tiny little dots that look just like hair follicles all over the head, and it creates the illusion that they got a full head of hair. So, and and you know, we recreate the hairline, and it really gives people their youth back, man. It makes them feel confident. You know, it's both industries that I've been in. I'm in the hair cutting industry, and I'm in the hair tattooing industry, right? Like they go hand in hand with each other, and that's kind of why I stumbled into the SMP thing, right? Just having a client, you know, being a barber, I know how to cut people's hair that are losing their hair and manipulate it to make it look like they're not. So it helps build that confidence in them. Yeah. So I always had a big clientele for that. So finding out about SMP was a no-brainer. Like, yo, I got the clientele for this. This is gonna help people. I started doing it, and man, when I say it sounds cliche, like I changed people's lives. Yeah, haircuts will make you feel really good for a week, but SMP brings you back for the rest of your life. That's man, right. It really changes lives. I've had some crazy stories, man. People are trying to commit suicide over hair loss. The mental illness with from hair loss, especially when you're somebody that's used to, like, I mean, you have long hair, you have your dreads. Imagine it falls out and you've had it for a long time.
Yeah, it's a part of your identity.
Yeah, it's like losing a limb. Yeah, you get me? So it completely messes with people big time, bro. And women that lose their hair, like, think about it, they're not supposed to be bald, right? Unless that's a style that they want. Some look really good with it, but it's not common, right? So the insecurities is drastic, man. Yeah, definitely. I think that a lot of people, what makes you good is that a lot of people can relate to you. And I love the fact that you talk about your own insecurities and the way you felt about yourself. And I think that that's why you empathize with the client who's coming in, who just wants to restore that confidence. And 100%. Yeah, and it's amazing, man. And it's also, it can be cost effective if they don't have to always get a haircut, right? They don't have to tighten up the hairline all the time. During COVID, when you couldn't get a haircut, all of my clients that I did SMP on, for sure, start going to the barbershop. There's a whole bunch of barbers that would call me like, yo, bro, I lost clients because of this.
Definitely.
Because they just cut it themselves.
Yeah. Now, how in the world did you get into SMP in the first place? Did you hear about it on an ad or something, or this was just kind of like going around in the barbering world?
Well, there was a lady that came to my barbershop. Yeah, she was just advertising that she did it, and if we sent her clients, she'll kick back $400. So I was like, okay, cool. I sent somebody immediately. One of my clients, I talked him into. I seen the pictures. It looked real good. I sent my client. He went and got it done. But he got jacked up. He had these big old stained dots. They were blue looking. Like, man, they messed him up. So kind of find out, she just owned the place. And the people that worked there were just students. Right. And he didn't really read the contract or anything like that. So it was at your own risk type of situation. So because I didn't do my due diligence and make sure that I researched it first, I was just like, yo, the pictures look good. Go get it done. Talked him into it. I paid for his laser tattoo removal. Got it wiped off completely. So remember, I used to travel with the hair shows. So for a whole year, I was like, yo, this is definitely not it. Like that was a bad experience. And the laser tattoo removal hurts too. So I was in Miami at a hair show that we put together, and I was talking to this guy, and I'm looking at him, and I'm trying to profile him because he looked like he got hair, but shiny, smooth. I'm like trying to see if I see some stubble, nothing. And I'm like, bro, you got SMP? And he's like, how'd you know? I'm like, bro, I just found out about it, but let me check you out. So I'm looking at his head, I'm examining, I'm like, wow. I'm touching his head, I'm like, bro, you don't got no hair. I'm like, literally, I'm just like manhandling his head. Pause. But it's pointillism, bro. I'm looking at this, I'm like, yo, this is pointillism. I'm an artist. I can draw real good with pointillism, but it's just little dots. I'm like, oh, I got to learn how to do this. I seen a good one. I knew it could be done. I'm like, yo, I definitely got the clientele for this. So I was like, that's it. It's done. Wow. I'm going to find somebody and learn how to do this. And I just found the first person that could teach me how to poke heads, what needles to use, what ink to use, what machine to use. And I got it from there. And yeah, man, it was a no-brainer. Bro, like I had to get into it. It's another form of art. So now I consider myself and my students, they'll hear me say this all the time. We're super barbers now. I can cut hair, take hair off, and I can add hair.
I like that. No, that's amazing, man. Now, eventually you got into certifying students and you started to expand, build your empire around SMP. And how did that happen? When did you make the decision that you were now going to train people on how to do it?
Man, I love teaching. I've been teaching how to cut hair since I was 16 years old. The first barbershop I worked at, I was already teaching. Like, I like being around people that are good. I'm very proud of wherever I'm at. So the shop that I was working at was only me and one other barber that we were like the guys. And so I started teaching the other barbers. And I loved how showing people how to do what I do. If it works for me, like share it, right? Like we're giving gifts, but we're not meant to hold on to them, bro. We're supposed to put it out there for people. So I just love to teach.
Yeah.
So in the barber industry, when I started doing the hair show stuff, like I was doing platform work, doing crazy designs, but part of what I was doing traveling was teaching people how to cut and teaching motivational speaking and financial literacy as a barber, and just teaching people how to do things. So I got into this with the whole thought of I'm gonna learn how to do this and I'm gonna teach it.
Yeah.
I want barbers to do. I think barbers should be the one doing this. I mean, we understand the hairline, we understand hair. I mean,
absolutely,
it's a no-brainer. It just goes hand in hand with each other. So I'm definitely one of the first SMP artists, industry barbers that got into SMP.
Got it.
Right. So I definitely introduced it into the barber industry. From the rip. So I learned how to do SMP. My mentor that taught me how to do SMP, that was mentoring me, he told me that I had to wait 2 years to get the experience or 200 SMP procedures. I knocked out 200 SMP procedures in less than a year.
Wow.
I was getting it. Wow. I was out there, whether it was free, whether it was paid, it didn't matter. Like, I wanted to teach this.
Yeah.
So he's seen my grind. He's seen who I was in the industry too. He's seen that was an open door. So he took me under his wing to teach classes with him. So for about 1.5 years, I was teaching classes with him. And then, year 2, went ahead and started doing my own thing. He gave me the blessings, so I started teaching people. I started certifying people, and just evolved it into the barber industry. Man, I've trained over 400 students.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and from all over, man. Even during COVID, I trained a guy that was in New Zealand, which he was supposed to fly here, but the lockdown stuff. So I ended up training him through Zoom, and he's like one of the first SMP artists in New Zealand.
For sure. Yeah, that's incredible, man. Yeah. Now, why would you recommend SMP for your average barber? Or just even someone to get into it as a business? Is it lucrative?
Bro, it's super lucrative.
Yeah.
When I got into it, I was just thinking as like an added service, like a hot towel shave, a design, like something like that, right? I didn't know what it was going to cost. I was just like, I'm learning something new that I could provide to my clients. So SMP ranges anywhere from $1,500 to $5,000 per client.
Yeah.
Right? And it takes about 2 to 5 hours. When I was cutting hair, before I started doing SMP, I was 126 heads a week is what I used to cut on the books. I was booked for the whole year. All my clients were on reoccurring. I was making about $3,500 a week. That's great money as a barber, I do that now with one client. Yeah. In like 3 hours. So if a barber wants to get into this and just add it as a service, and they're just providing one SMP a week, let's just say an average of $2,000. Well, there's 52 weeks in the year, man. So you making $110,000. You just added $110,000 to your whatever it is that you're making. Absolutely. And barbers today are making about $300,000 a year cutting hair. So that's amazing. An easy way to add another 100. Absolutely. By one client a week. Absolutely. No, I agree 100%. That's a really great business model. And the last question I have regarding SMP is, why should they get trained with you? Right? There's a lot of people who maybe have even thought about possibly doing it as a profession or just as an add-on to their services. Why should they specifically come here to 60 to get trained by you and certified by you? So I would never down talk anybody, right? No matter what it is, right? Because at the end of the day, you go to whoever you want to go to. You want to go to whoever you vibe with, whoever you could connect with. The difference with me, man, is, and I've been told that this is my problem. Yeah. My problem is that I care too much. Man, I provide everything. Like it really matters for me for you to learn. Like people aren't just numbers to me. Yeah. So if I'm teaching you how to do something like this, you're paying me $5,000 to $10,000 to learn how to do SMP. Of course. For the mentoring and all of that stuff, right? So you're trusting me that I'm going to put you on game and I'm going to lead you to the way it needs to be. So I'm going to do everything I can to make sure you understand. And then I keep my classes small. Yeah. A lot of these other people are doing these big classes. They're charging super cheap. Like the average SMP class is anywhere from like $4,500 to like $6,000. Got it. Right in that range. There's people out there charging $2,500, but they're also gatekeeping. They're not really showing you everything. They won't show you how to mix the ink. They won't show you how to market yourself. They won't show you how to create content. They won't show you how to put yourself out there. Sure. Anybody could poke heads. The bare minimum. Yeah, anybody could poke heads, but make little tiny dots. Like I could teach you that right now. Yep. But the thing is, how do you get clients in your chair? Yeah. So that's my biggest thing, because if you learn from me and you're not becoming successful, how great of a teacher am I?
Yeah.
And I understand it's not my responsibility what you do after. So out of my 400 students, not all of them, I might have about 30 students that are actively doing S&P that are highly successful. About 30 of them.
And that's in any industry. Yeah.
It is, but it does bother me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I genuinely care. Like, it really bothers me that they don't take it further. It's like, why spend that money? At least make your money back.
Of course.
You know, and if you realize that's something that you don't like, or it's too much work or something like that, that's fine. It's not for everybody.
Yeah.
But I genuinely care, man. So the difference with me is that I genuinely care, bro. So I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make sure that you learn and mentor you afterwards, and just really teach you how to do everything.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. Yeah. And as we start to bring it in for a landing, I wanted to ask, just from an entrepreneurial standpoint, what was the valley for you? Has there ever been a point in time where you were just at your lowest from an entrepreneurial standpoint? I know you and I have had some conversations, different seasons that you've come across, but what would you say was the hardest season for you as an entrepreneur?
Man, in 2022, my Instagram page got hacked. Before my page got hacked, man, I was doing anywhere from like $50,000 to $100,000 a month. Right, I was killing it with S&P. And really, bro, what I did, I paid off all of our debt. Yeah. I paid off all of our debt. I did everything that I could. I was investing. I was buying extra materials just to make sure that everything was good. And once everything was cleared, I was like, all right, you know what? Now I'm going to start paying myself. Now I'm going to start making money for myself. Like, I'm killing it with this. And my Instagram page got hacked. I never spent money on marketing. I never spent money on Google. I never, like, everything that I had was coming from, based off of the relationships that I built nationwide from the barber industry. Because the moment I got into it, people were like, oh, Jesse, yo, you doing this? I'm doing it. And like, they're just naturally sending me clients from all over. Because people fly in from everywhere. Bro, I've even had clients come from Saudi Arabia. Wild. But so my Instagram page got hacked. And when that happened, bro, they literally took my business away, because all my clientele came from Instagram. All of them. Maybe 3% were coming from Google, from local. Wow. Like, I was barely doing people in Tampa. I was doing people coming from everywhere else. Yeah. And so that taught me that you can't put all your eggs in one basket.
That's right.
So I've definitely struggled with that, man, because I went from making 50 to 100,000 to making like 10 to 12,000. Right? That's just enough to keep the business running. So I had to, the money that I had put aside, I spent money on marketing. I hired marketing companies. I lost $70,000 working with the first two companies I worked with. I didn't know what the hell I was looking for. I never spent money on marketing. For sure. We never worked with a marketing team, none of that stuff. So they got me. I lost $70,000. And then, I had another 30,000. I was just like, yo, I'm just throw it onto myself. I like, okay, they got me. I'm gonna just learn how to do this. I'm gonna learn how social media works. I'm gonna learn how Google works. And I hired coaches to teach me how to do all of that stuff. And it was beneficial, because then it's something I could teach to my students too, to make my classes even more valuable. But I really had to spend that money, man. And now it was like starting all over again. So I'm 4 years in doing S&P, and I'm at the peak of my business. And then I got shot down. I had to start all over. So I look at everything, man. Everything happens for a reason. Okay? Maybe I wasn't meant at that time to be making that type of money. Mentally, I wasn't there. Business-wise, I wasn't there. Like, I find a positive in every single negative. When my parents' car accident, I took that like that was a sign from God. Like, I was lazy as hell. Right? I may have not strived to be nothing if that hadn't happened. Right. My hustle wouldn't have been built if that hadn't happened. You know what I'm saying? So I find a positive in everything. So it is what it is. I had to start from the bottom again and build my way back up, which was something that helped me with teaching my students. Because they got clientele, they cutting hair, they doing stuff, but then I also got clients that aren't barbers. Students that aren't barbers. Right? So now it's like, okay, so now I know how to teach them a different way to be able to build their business. Because for me, I was blessed. It was easy. It was just like, I do S&P, guys. Come to me, right? Because I have the following. So it was just it was an advantage that I had from all that work that I put in. So, and I can't teach people to go travel and do the hair shows and build that. I could teach them how, what they should do the same thing I did. But now I can actually teach you how to create content. I can teach you how to put yourself out there, know how to hire a marketing company, what marketing company to work with, like all of those things, So for me, that was
still a blessing,
bro.
Yeah, there was still a blessing in it though.
Yeah. I've never been depressed.
Yeah.
So even the fact of my Instagram page being hacked, just the whole fact of it being taken from you like that, bro, that was on a mental note, bro, I was doing everything I can to try to get my page.
Yeah.
Other people were getting hacked. Then they realized what I did and they started acting like they were me. So now my image and my name is on the line. So they're taking deposits from people for S&P and for classes.
That's crazy.
Acting like it's me.
Yeah.
Right? So I had my other Instagram page that I was reaching out to people, letting them know, yo, my page got hacked. I had people call me and, like, yo, Jess, the class is only $1,500. I was like,
oh, that's wild.
No, bro, the class ain't $1,500. They know my wife's a financial advisor.
Yeah.
So they were hitting them with the whole crypto stuff. So like, yo,
crazy.
You really trust this person? I know your wife does this. So I went ahead and invested in them. I was like, no, the page was hacked. I even opened a federal case.
Wow.
I reached out to the FBI for this too. And bro, no help nowhere. Meta didn't help me in any way, shape, or form. They would not respond. They're like, there was a guy that reached out to me that worked at Meta in California about helping me try, and he needed S&P. So we're trying to exchange. So I was like, all right, cool. Your procedure costs $4,000. I'll do your procedure. You gotta pay me. You get my page back. I'll give you double the money back. You know what I mean? So he tried it. He couldn't do it. And he works in Meta.
That's crazy.
So the guy that stole my page stayed connected with me and would rub it in my face.
Really?
Through my other page. He would rub it in my face. Oh, I just took this guy's account. Bro, we'd be back and forth.
Wow.
And one day we actually had a conversation. He was like, look, bro, he lived in Africa, bro. He was in Africa. I forgot what part, but whatever. He was like, look, man, like, this is what I got to do to feed my family. He's like, I know it sucks, but this is what I got to do. So I was like, it was one of those moments to where it's like, damn, I get it, but it's still messed up, bro. Like,
that is wild.
It's so fucked up, but I get it. I understand, but still, it's messed up.
Yeah.
So there was a day that he reached out to me. He's like, yo, my brother's in the hospital. He's dying. I need $1,000. I was like, all right, look, I'll send you $2,000, but I need my page back, bro. Give me my logins and I'll send you the money. Nah, I don't trust you because, I got over on you. It's like, we was on a big back and forth. I was like, yo, just give me bro, the difference is I'm not you. I will give you your money. Give me my stuff. He gave me my login. I logged in. He'll log me out. Okay, he set up 2-step authentication. I log in. He'll log me out. I'm like, bro, you tripping. Is your brother's life on the line or not?
Yeah.
So he's like, bro, I know you're not going to send me the money. I said, all right, you know what, bro? Well, your brother's life is on your hands, bro. F you, I'm out. Right? And like an hour later, I was like, let me see if I can get back in. I got back in. And then the moment I got in, I was able to change my email address, change the phone number, change everything before he noticed. Yeah. Because before I couldn't do it because he was on it. So he, you change your password, it lets you know, hey, somebody just logged in. Wow. Was this you?
Wow.
Right? So he was denying it. So I just got lucky that I got in there in time to be able to switch everything. But then Meta shut me down. But for a week or a week after that.
So you didn't have to send them the money?
No, hell no, I ain't sending the money. He did hit me on my other pages like, that's crazy. Hey, this is me, remember? I gave you your page.
Karma's a serious thing, man.
Nah, bro, you ain't give me my page. I had to take it back.
Wow. And he probably wasn't even being honest about the brother situation, So
nah, definitely not.
That's crazy.
But, yeah, man. But when I did that, now that Meta reached out to me, now I was able to get my page back, bro. And I was doing the face authentication. I took pictures smiling. My face is all over my profile. I'm smiling. I'm angry. I cut my hair off. All the faces that I had, and they kept denying me. And now when they sent it to me, I was able to get my page back.
Bro, that's a crazy story. Yeah, I appreciate you sharing that, man.
But look, let me give you guys some advice. If this happens to y'all, don't get your page back. Even though I had 30,000 followers and all of that stuff, man, look, my page was at the bottom of the barrel. I had to rebuild the trust with social media. It's better for you to just start a brand new page, start all over. Now you become a new partner to Instagram, to Meta. They're going to promote you naturally and you'll be able to blow up your page faster.
Yeah, really good advice. Yeah. Appreciate you sharing that, brother.
I spent a lot of money trying to get my page back and make it work again.
For sure. Wow. Talk about going and being in the valley and climbing your way out. So yeah, that's incredible. But the blessing in it, I know you started to master different forms of marketing and advertising and things like that. And I mean, you're a master at a lot of that stuff, which is pretty cool because like you said, now you can pay it forward to your students and be able to teach them on all different forms of marketing, which is great.
It taught me to get comfortable in front of the camera too.
Yeah.
Because I would get in the camera, but I wasn't really speaking like that, you know, because it's easy to get on. I think it's easier to get on a stage and just talk to a crowd.
Yeah.
You just pick somebody and talk to them while you're doing it. It makes it easy. But speaking to a lens, there's nobody there.
Yeah.
Like it's so hard to just feel comfortable.
So true.
Right? It's awkward until
feels cringe. Yeah. You're like, I can't believe I sound like that.
So, but being able, you know, having to, it's just like when I moved up here from Miami and I had to get myself out there. So, you know, there's a positive to every negative, man. Definitely. If y'all can take anything, there's a positive. Whatever you're going through, there's something positive that's going to come out of it. So you're either on the way to the storm, you're in the middle of the storm, or you're on the way out of the storm. That's right. So just take it for what it is, man. And learn from it.
That's amazing. Well, before we wrap up, brother, I just got to like recap because there was so many beautiful aspects of your journey that kind of led to the work that you do today, even with your passion for art, right? It's crazy how that's what led you into barbering in the first place. And there's so many parallels. There's so many divine interventions that kind of took place to kind of lead to who you are today. And I love the fact that you highlighted that there's a blessing in everything, right? You mentioned having that hustle mentality or even being a leader because you were kind of forced to be a leader. And despite everything that you've gone through, you've somehow managed to find the blessing in it and turn that inspiring or turn that mess into an inspiring message, right? Find the treasure in the trash. And it's incredible because today you're speaking on different platforms, right? You're getting out there, you're mentoring, you're coaching, and it's incredible, man. And I know we didn't really get to highlight too much on fatherhood. And if there's any piece of advice that you would just give to those brothers out there that, like yourself, I have 3 boys, and I know fatherhood is a big part of my purpose. It's not just the business and the money and all that stuff. It's also your legacy through your children. And I was talking to you the other day and you were mentioning how your son is really into bodybuilding and, you know, you guys get in the gym together, you'll travel the country, check out different gyms. And I love the way you go about your specific, you know, parenting journey. And if there's any advice that you would give to those who either are parents or want to be parents, what advice? Because your kids, like you said, they've seen the hustle-holic and the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. And you got that from your father. Do you want your children to get that from you? Is it something that you want to pass down, or is it more like, hey, there's more important things than just grinding? Like I'm curious as to what your view is. I know mine, but I'm curious as to what yours is.
So it's all about balance. Right. And it's teaching that because our kids are sponges. Kids are sponges, bro. When people look up to you, even if they're grown, they're a sponge. So whatever you do, like you are the one that's influencing them. If they look up to you, they're gonna do whatever you do. They're gonna mimic what you do. So for like even with me, man, like all the bad stuff that I seen my dad do was all his way of teaching me how to do the good stuff. Some people be like, "Oh, that's hypocrisy." Right. But no, that's my dad, bro. I love him unconditional. You know what I'm saying? No matter what he did, I love my dad to death. Like he taught me how to be a man. Of course. You know what I'm saying? He taught me how to be a good husband. He taught me how to be a better father. Because of all of those things. He taught me the wrongs so that I wouldn't do those things. So for me with my boys, man, like I try teaching them both. Right. So yeah, you have to grind. But you also have to find a way to be present because my parents grinded like crazy, but they were never present. So that could have led me into the streets. That could have led me into that. That's what had me lazy. They weren't around. I'm watching cartoons. I'm not doing anything, right? Like things, you know, just things like that held me back. So it's teaching them how to grind, teaching them how to work for stuff, teaching them that you're not entitled to anything. You know what I'm saying? Like if you ain't putting in the work, you don't deserve it. Just plain and simple. You know, so yeah, man, like my biggest advice is lead by example. 100%.
Absolutely.
So if you want them to be a grinder, be a grinder. But if you want them to be present, be present. Like try to find. It's hard to balance. What's the
work-life harmony?
Work-life harmony, man. Is find that harmony. And to today, man, I'm still looking for that harmony.
That's right.
Trying to find and separate the hustler in me sometimes because I need to be there for my family too.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful. I mean, great wisdom, man. And I think that's the final frontier. Like, because you spoke about having the thriving business, having the family, having the home, having the nice whip, all these different things, having the influence. But then you found yourself with your personal transformation. It was like, okay, now I want to work on this. And here you are back on the grind, but now you have your fitness, but you're in this final frontier where it's kind of like finding that work-life harmony and just getting it right, mastering the art of living, if you will, right? Yeah, definitely. And last question I have is, if there's any words of wisdom or like, just in general, even what would you want to be known for, right? What would you want to be known for? What's the dream now? And if there's any words of wisdom that you would like to, leave to the audience, what would that be, right? It can be pursuing your dream. It can be just life in general. Yeah. But what's your dream? And then what would be that piece of wisdom that you would give?
So my biggest thing, man, like I've always lived off of the Nike motto, just do it. And if you have a dream for something, bro, just do it. Like, just plain and simple, man. Like, we only live for a certain amount of time. We have one life, and our life it's on a clock. Yeah. And we never know if we're gonna wake up tomorrow. If I walk out of here and something happens, like, we never know when our last day is. So if you're holding back from certain things that you want to do, if you're holding back for certain dreams that you have, like, chase it. Like, you are the only person that can make things happen for yourself. Like Oprah, whatever, man. Oprah doesn't have a different amount of time that I have.
That's right.
Like, we all go to sleep, we all wake up, we all have the same exact 24 hours. It's just what you do with it. Yeah. So if you do have a dream, you have something that you want to do, man, just go after it. Just make it happen. It's never too late. It's never too early. You just do it.
I love it. I love it. And what would you say is the next dream for you? After all of this you've created, what's the next big dream for you?
Man, I'm living it, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm living it.
I love it.
There's never enough with me. My wife asks me all the time, yo, when is enough? So like right now, it's just establishing the 6E brand to where I want it to be. I just care to put people on. Yeah. So as far as legacy goes and all of that stuff, it's not just for my kids. It's just for anybody watching, anybody that reaches to me, anybody that's ever been in my circle, anybody that I meet in the future. Just being able to put people on, like, that's what makes me live. That's what gives me life. Yeah. So there's no end goal. I don't believe that there's an end goal. So right now the goal is to get the S&P business booming to the point to where I could duplicate it, and any students that learn from me that they want to have part of this in it, I could open up multiple offices, just keep on putting people on with it. Like that's literally just what it is right now. I don't think anything further than that.
For sure. And I think that being on this podcast is even an extension of that dream, right? 100%. Like, I love that answer. I'm living it, because it's just doing more of what you're already doing and expanding it beyond what you currently have it, but just doing more of it. And I think that that's when you have it really, really locked in with your purpose. Yeah. When the goal really isn't something different, it's just doing more of what you're already doing.
Yeah, you never know what things are going to lead to. So that's one thing that I've learned. Like, I didn't know I was going to be doing S&P.
That's right.
People used to tell me all the time, "Yo, you draw good. Why don't you get into tattooing?" Yeah. I'm tattooing hair. You know what I'm saying? I never wanted to veer away from cutting hair. So it's like, just things just happen, man. So I put everything into what I have going on right now. And then if something else drives from that, eventually it will. I definitely want to be able to get on more stages, get more platforms, be able to speak to people, be able to put people on, get into the consulting world as well. Sure. Like those are definitely things and that this is all going to lead to.
Of course.
Being able to be on this platform with you right now, it definitely shows,
absolutely,
let a different crowd of people know who I am. Like, one of my biggest goals has always been, and one of my drivers has always been that I want people to know who Jesse Lima is and what purpose he serves in this world.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and that's just what I've been doing my whole life.
And if you had to give a one-liner of what that purpose is, what would you say? That's good. That's a good question.
Yeah.
It's a good question.
Yeah.
I know you and I have spoken about it in a lot of different ways. And when I talk to you, I know a lot of it is when I think of what you've told me, just the idea of you restoring confidence being one of them, right? Just adding value to men, you know, giving them their life back in a sense. There's so many ways you could frame it.
I'm a people pleaser, right? And some people look at that as a negative thing.
Yep.
But making people happy is what makes me happy. You know, I know how to make myself happy, but what really fills my cup, man, is making sure that people are happy.
I love that.
So that's really what it is, man.
So
building confidence is definitely what I do. It's what I've always done.
Of course. So good. So good. And we could drop the mic there, man. And while you mentioned speaking and all that and stages around the world, where can our audience find you if someone wants to book you to speak at their next event, or they want to come get certified here at 6E, or just any of your services? Where's the best place to find you?
Well, man, I'm crazy enough to let you guys know my phone number, direct line is 813-516-9004. And if you want to check, you know, reach out to me through my DMs. My Instagram is 6E.JesseLimaSMP. You can reach out to me through there.
I love it. Is that the hack page?
That's the page that was hacked.
Let's go. Let's go. This has been great, brother. Thank you so much. This has been like truly special just coming here and being at your wonderful establishment. And I look forward to having some more conversations down the road, man.
Oh, most definitely, man.
Absolutely. So for those of you who are hopping on right now, make sure you follow Jesse on all of his social media platforms and stay tuned for another amazing episode ahead. Take care and God bless.
Let's get it.